Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for canceling a family vacation that I paid for after my niece went behind my back? My niece, F18, has been like a sister to me. She's dating this guy who lives in another country. She met him while he was working at her college. They spent 3 days together and then he left. No one in the family has ever met him, talked to him, or seen him. I'd been helping with a bunch of personal issues and just getting her ready by supporting her and helping her with anything she needed before her trip. It's important to say that this guy is military, and so am I, but I'm an officer while he is a senior NCO. Before she left, I had asked her about giving me his contact info and making sure he was comfortable with that. I also asked about where she would be staying and if she could check in with me when she landed and before she was returning, just to make sure she was safe. I reiterated many times that I loved her, I was proud of her, and I wanted her to have fun and be safe. I'm scheduled to come home for the holidays, and I had booked a weekend trip for her and her mom. Put them in a private suite at the historic 5-star hotel and had made lunch and dinner reservations. I'm paying for the entire trip. All she had to do was show up. This is where I may be the asshole. I noticed when I was asking her about his contact info, she was being cold and vague. She told me he didn't have a phone number. They communicated through social media. She told me she didn't know where she would be staying, if it was in or off base. So I left it at that. I never pressured her and respected her privacy. Well, my mom asked her during family dinner why she didn't give me or anyone in the family any contact info, and she replied that she didn't like how I had asked. She said it was inappropriate, and she told her BF, who reported it to his commanding officer. I live in the other side of the country. I wasn't there during the conversation, but I guess family overheard her response and asked her how she could do that, and did she not think her actions could cause trouble for me. Things became tense between the family after that. Most of the family vouched for me. I've sent family members a screenshot of the text thread, and no one can pinpoint where in the conversation I was inappropriate. Also, for those that don't know about military life, a senior NCO isn't a 22-year-old kid. Even though she doesn't answer questions about him because she will shut down, I know for a fact this guy is much older because I've asked connections back home. Family thinks he's putting things in her head because she said he didn't like me asking for his contact info. I've done my best to help and assist her with the limited info she's provided me and respect her as an adult. But she was never like this. I feel upset, stressed, betrayed, and confused. I've already talked to mentors and my command, and they told me I have nothing to worry about. I did nothing wrong. I was looking out for her as I always do and being there for her whenever she needs me. After learning about what she had done and her boyfriend complaining to his chain of command about me, I felt hurt. So I called her mom and canceled the trip. A part of me didn't feel right financing an all-expense-paid weekend of luxury for her. Part of me feels used and dumb for giving in to her while she complained about me to her much older boyfriend and him complaining about me when I only asked her once about where she would be staying and his contact info. Family pointed out in the text thread where she was visibly giving me the runaround, not wanting to answer, and I didn't push it. So am I the bad person for still wanting to go out the trip I paid for but just uninviting her instead of canceling, and maybe inviting other relatives instead of her and her mom? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my girlfriend whatever helps you sleep at night when she was in denial about how much weight she had gained? My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years now. She's currently unemployed and is very stressed. I can imagine things are very hard for her. She's turned to food for comfort and obviously has gained weight. This isn't my concern at all. I'm still very attracted to her and it doesn't bother me that much. However, one day she needed to get some headshots done and went to CVS. We were on a video call one day and I asked her to show those photos. Well, yep, totally poker face. Her face looked very puffy, she had no makeup on, her cheeks looked very round, and you could clearly see the sheer impact of the weight she's carrying on her body. In person, I try not to pay too much attention to this fact, but I could clearly see the difference from last time I saw her. Probably because I've been on a project myself and haven't seen her for 2 months now. So she continues to deny that this photo looks like her because she feels like she looks too ugly, and that camera angle was off, etc., etc. She kept asking me for reassurances on whether I think she actually looks like those photos. I don't feel comfortable answered that and said to her she shouldn't think too much, and if she isn't happy with her photos, I would recommend her to get professional headshots done with her makeup all done nicely as well. I honestly wanted to move on from her back and forth, and she kept saying how she doesn't look like the person she was in the photo, and it frustrated me after some point because she had been ranting for a solid 20 minutes now. I just blurted out, whatever helps you sleep at night. Maybe she needed to know she does look like the photo she literally got clicked that day. Or maybe she'll stop talking about it altogether. Yes, ideally I'll want her to lose weight and get more confident in her appearance, but I understand that couldn't be a priority right now. Next morning when I woke up to a barrage of texts from her telling me she was hurt over what I said, then claiming she might just be overthinking things and didn't mean to tell me she was hurt and we should move on. There were also a bunch of deleted texts in between, which probably indicates, from how much I've known about her, are a code for her spiraling for me she gets on some night. For example, when she feels irrationally upset at me, she will send me texts and then delete them later before I see. It can be confusing and exhausting for me, so I know last night wasn't easy on her emotionally. What do I do? Should I apologize or not? Am I the bad person? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for telling my dad he's a better stepdad than dad and I won't stick around to watch if it keeps happening? My 16F dad isn't like the worst dad ever or anything. He works to provide for me. He wishes me a happy birthday every year and says he loves me sometimes. He buys me gifts for Christmas and my birthday. And he takes me to the doctor if I need to go, or used to. But he never spent any time with me. When mom was alive, he just never needed to in his mind, I guess, since I had mom. After she died, he wasn't there to comfort me or anything. That was left to a few different family members on both sides of my family. But when he got married again, he made a bigger effort with his stepkids, 13F, 10M. He's been married for over 4 years now, and he takes his stepkids out 1:1. He goes camping with them, takes them for pizza and ice cream after school on Fridays. He takes them to football games or local plays. And he still doesn't do the same with me. I have never spent quality time with my dad. But for over 4 years, more like over 5 when you count the time he was dating his wife, I've been forced to watch him do better for her kids. His wife has tried to take over as the parent for me, but I don't want her, and while I'm civil, I haven't worked on us being close, because I don't want to be, and I haven't started going to her. Instead, I've tried to get him to be a better dad to me and failed. His wife has asked me why I don't let her be the mom I need, and I told her that I don't want her or a new mom. That I want my dad to be the parent I need instead of being that to her kids who aren't even his. My dad's stepdaughter wants me to be her big sister. But my focus has been on dad, and I haven't worked on building a relationship with either of his stepkids. I'm nice. I don't ignore them if they talk to me. But none of these relationships are going to happen if my dad decides he's never going to step up for me. We had a talk a few days ago. His stepdaughter had been really disappointed I wouldn't go to a concert with her, and dad wanted to talk to me about it, and I finally opened up to him and told him everything I feel and how I see it. I even pointed out how it was the most he had said to me, maybe ever, and it was to tell me his family were hurting that I didn't accept them. I asked him when did he take me for pizza and ice cream or to watch something or camping or anything. He started to say it was different, and I told him not really. I said they have their mom just like I had mine for 8 years. But he still saw a need to be there for them and not me. I told him it hurt, and I told him his wife isn't making up for that if he won't even try to be a good dad. He told me to see why he needed to bond with his stepkids and make them his and not just stepkids. I told him a bond wasn't automatic just because he was always present in some way in my life. I said he never cared about our connection. I told him to face facts that he's a better stepdad than he is a dad, and I told him if that's how things will stay, fine, I guess, but I'm then just going to keep my distance and leave as soon as I can. Because I'm not going to stick around and watch it if that's how things will be. I said I'll become estranged and lean on the family, the real family, who care about me. He didn't say anything else and he walked away, but the next day he told me it was unfair to claim he's a better stepdad and how I judged him too harshly. His wife said I'm behaving spitefully by refusing to join her and her kids as a family because of dad's actions. Am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.